Yes, yes. And welcome to the sounds of Sunday. And I am your host, Scott Free, bringing you all those more mellow tunes of yesterday and today. So sit back while we bring you a full hour of jazz, R&B, and international sounds from around the world. I am your host, Scott Free, and this is the sounds of Sunday. Stay tuned. That was Kevin Macleod with Dispersion Relation off the YouTube audio library list. And one before that, you heard one by the group The Good Louts off the album A Little Something Something, entitled Preaching and Blues. And kicking off this R&B music set was Otis McDonald with Behind Closed Doors off the Otis McDonald album off the SoundCloud.com website. Good afternoon. I am your host, Scott Free. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. Actually, like I said, I was at the Steelers picnic over the weekend. So shout out to all my Steelers Nation fan club out there. We had a good time on Saturday. Trying to get some video up for you, but I'm actually probably going to do that next weekend. So, because I'm trying to get as many videos I can of the barbecue. It was pretty nice, pretty packed out there. We had a good time, me and my boy Will. So coming up is my smooth jazz music mix. Kicking off this one is before I do that, I'm going to actually be featuring a compilation music set today, one by a group called Fortune 500. They have a compilation of different artists with different tracks that I'm going to play for you at the end of the show. I'm going to play 3 good tracks that I'm pretty sure you enjoy. So stay tuned for that. And kicking right into my next music set is my smooth jazz music mix. Be right back. nice little track by Graham Bull, B-O-L-E, entitled Theme for Rosa, and that's off the album First New Day. You can also find that off of FMA sound.com website. So nice little track. And before that, you heard Starting Over by Nimesh, N-M-E-S-H. You can find Nimesh off the FMA.com website. They have some pretty nice tracks. I'm probably going to feature them not just next weekend, but probably the weekend after that. They got some. I might check out some tracks and let you hear them. Like I said, I play most of my music from artists that you never heard of before. Some you may have, but I play them here on my show. Promote them and feature them on my show on the weekends. So trying to get everybody familiar with the artists and their sounds and where you can locate their tracks at, just in case you get around and seeing them out somewhere playing in a concert somewhere, you'll know exactly who they are. So I am your host, Godfrey. Stay tuned. And kicking off this smooth jazz music mix was Fortune 500 with Vacation. Most of my subscribers enjoyed the track of Vacation and Happy Hour by Silver Richards. So I'm going to be featuring a few cuts of them today from Fortune 500, so stay tuned for that, which I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy. Hey, a few weeks ago I mentioned a track by Audionautics, and I mentioned the main name of Robert Shaw, and I'd like to make a correction because his name is not Robert, his name is Jason Shaw, from my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he actually has a lot of music tracks that I'm pretty sure you enjoy. So if you want to go to Jason Shaw, look up jasonshaw.com or Audionautics. You'll find a compilation list of some beautiful music. So don't forget, his name is not Robert Shaw. His name is Jason Shaw from my hometown of Pittsburgh. We call it the Bird. Right here on the Sounds of Sunday. Coming up is my international music mix. One you're gonna hear a track by Jingle Punks, entitled City Groove. You can find that off the YouTube audio library list of music. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be right back. And just coming back, that was a nice little track by Topher Moore and Alex Selena entitled Fringe. That's off the YouTube, also off the YouTube audio library list. And before that, you heard Summon the Island by Silent Partner. And that's also off the YouTube audio library list. Many of these tracks that you can actually find off the either YouTube audio library list, fma.com, or soundcloud.com websites, where I pick select my music very carefully, and I'm pretty sure that I pick my tracks just to make sure that I enjoy the tracks, and I'm hoping you enjoy the tracks. So just give a little announcement. Actually, coming up soon on Thursday nights, we're going to actually have game night down at the American Legion Post 14 at 863 North D Street in San Bernardino. For more information, call 909-885-4090. Again, that is 909-885-4090. We're going to have blackjack. We're going to actually have bid whist tournaments and domino tournaments down there, so get ready for that. And also, we're actually going to do some lip syncing, just like karaoke, but we're going to actually do some lip syncing. We're going to have a gentleman that actually does the DJ for lip syncing and stuff like that, and he has a pretty nice crowd that actually visits him anywhere he's at. So we're going to actually invite him down here, the American Legion Post 14, so he can actually bring the crowd down to there on Thursday nights for lip sync talent contest. So I just want to let everybody know, get ready for that. And also, if you want a good place to come and party on the weekend, just come on down to the American Legion Post 14 at 863 North D Street. We have a pretty good crowd on the Friday and Saturdays. My boy Craig kicks it up on Friday nights. Pretty nice crowd, gets packed. So, and we're going to get ready to open up the back room for partying. We're looking at a guest DJ right now, and he may take over. So it'll be him and Craig on one side or the other. And my boy Lonnie kicks it up on Saturday nights. Pretty nice crowd. So if you actually want a nice place to come in, come on down to the American Legion Post 14. They get crowded, though. You want to probably get there kind of early. Get you a nice spot at the bar or anywhere in the place, and also a good parking space, because parking space does run out. So we have a pretty nice time. And also, don't forget to come on down to the post for Taco Tuesdays. Every Tuesday from about 2 p.m. until closing. I'm usually on duty down there on Tuesday. So come on down and enjoy some great tacos, some old school music. And this weekend we're actually going to feature a guest DJ down there. So come on down and check them out. And also, just want to let everybody know my kitchen is open. My soul food kitchen is open from Tuesday to Saturday, through Saturday, from 11 p.m. We start serving lunch from 12 p.m. until 7. All right, right here at the American Legion Post 14. So coming up next is another R&B music mix right here on the Sounds of Sunday. So after Summon the Island, we actually had a track kicking off this international music mix was Jingle Punks with City Groove right here from the YouTube audio library list. So glad you could tune in this afternoon. Like I said, my show should have been up Sunday, but I was getting back from vacation. Needed vacation from vacation. I'm pretty pretty sure most of you know that. So it was pretty tiring. I'm working every day, basically from Tuesday to Saturday down at McDonald in the kitchen, and bringing some good food for you all. Come on down. If you wanted some chicken, some fried chicken, some fish or shrimp baskets, we serve some good food down there. So come on down and shout your boy out. Down there taking care of business for you. So come on down and support us at the American Legion Post 14 at 863 North D Street. And coming up this August 12th, 13th, and 14th is the Long Beach Jazz Fest Festival. Just give you a little lineup. On Friday is going to be Michael Franks, Peter White, Paul Taylor, Hughes Groove, Ellen Trotman, and Athena Renee. And yes, after Athea Renee, they got a group called Major, or they're going to actually be sliding in another featured artist, popular artist, on Friday. Saturday, August 13th, we're going to have Jeffrey Osborne and Jeffrey O, the Rippingtons, BWB, featuring Rick Braun, Norman Brown, and Kurt Whalen, Everett Hart, Paul Jackson Jr., Mindless Groove, and on Sunday, closing out the Long Beach Jazz Fest, we're going to have Dave Cos and David Sanborn side by side. Michael Lincoln and Kenny Lattimore is going to be gracing the stage. Six Pack featuring Jeff Kashawa, Steve Cole, and Kim Waters. Stanley Jordan, Al Williams Jazz Society with special guests, and kicking and ending the show is going to be Richard 88 Fingers Turner Jr. right here on the sound of Sunday Long Beach Concert Weekend. And yes, this coming Tuesday is going to be our Taco Tuesday down at the American Legion Post 14. I'm inviting all my Steeler Nation fans, fan club down at the post for tacos and special drinks, drink specials from 5 p.m. until closing. So all my Steeler Nation fans, come on down, check us out, and shout your boy out. I'll be wearing my Steeler gear also. And also all NFL fans out there, if you want to come down and join us, you can come down and wear your football uniforms or whatever, t-shirts and stuff like that. Come on, join us down there for Taco Tuesday this Tuesday, August 9th, which is tomorrow. So coming up is another R&B music mix. Starting off, this one is one by Humma Humma entitled CeeLo, off the YouTube audio library list. You can also find Humma Humma off the hummahumma.com website, right here on the Sounds of Sunday. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. And just coming back, that was a nice little cut by Jazar off the Galaxy album entitled Hancock. You can find Jazar on FMA.com website. And before that, you heard one by Ryan Little entitled Sandcastle off the album Before Dawn. I believe it's Before Dawn 1. He has Before Dawn 1 and 2. Pretty nice tracks by Ryan. And kicking off this R&B music mix was CeeLo by Humma Humma right here on the Sounds of Sunday. Stay tuned. Coming up is another smooth jazz music mix right here on the Sounds of Sunday. Right back.
You look at them, and they really
Yes, that was a nice little track by Graham Wall entitled Theme for Rosa. Before that, you heard one by Nimish, as spelled Nnesh, entitled Starting Over. And kicking off this last smooth jazz music mix was one by Vanity entitled Manhattan Strut. Pretty sure like that. My fans, my subscribers usually like that cut. So coming up is my featured artist showcase for today, and that's Fortune 500 from the compilation album Music of the Now Ace 3. So the tracks you're going to hear coming up next is one by Fortune 500 entitled Telecommunications. Most of my subscribers and viewers, listeners like to listen to this one. And after that, you're going to hear a track by Hong Kong Express called Days of Being Wild. And ending this show today is going to be a track by Bodyline entitled Dune Shade, right here on the Sounds of Sunday. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. Like I said, my show is up a little bit late because actually I just came back from vacation, and my publishing, sometimes the publishing gets a little lengthy as far as getting it up on YouTube. Shout out to all my YouTubers out there. Doing a good job, great work of putting things out that we need to know about. So I like to look at a lot of my YouTubers out there that's making videos. So shout out to you, all my fellas out there, and all my ladies out there also. We're trying to get a message out there now that we need to get our act together, because things are starting to happen, and if we're going to be asleep on it, we're going to get swept on it. So just want to give that little tidbit out there. So tuning in next weekend for another hour of smooth jazz, R&B, and international sounds from around the world. I am your host, Scott Free. You all be safe out there, and hopefully I'll see you Tuesday. If not, come on down to the Post, American Legion Post 14, for lunch, and sit with me and have some lunch with me, or a drink with me. Okay. Other than that, I'll see you next weekend, right here, the Sounds of Sunday. Later. Bye.